Hello and welcome to day 14 of 5 Minutes for 4 Weeks, practicing Blondie's Call Me. I'm working on the interlude, which is right before the bridge. Um, yesterday I was able to play it by itself along with the music. I want to try playing it now, sorry, with the music, but leading into it from the second chorus. So I want to today practice that interlude again with the music and then try playing along um, from the chorus, actually a little bit before the chorus, the pre-chorus, the second pre-chorus. And if I'm able to do that, to try playing the whole piece, up to that point. Um, let's see how that goes. Hi, Dad. Thank you for joining. Quotation of the day is: "Don't let what you cannot do overshadow what you can do." Again, don't let what you cannot do overshadow what you can do. Um, this is a tendency I've seen with a lot of people that focus on the negatives, that focus on the cannots, on the have-nots, on limitations, rather than focusing on what we do have. Um, there is a negativity bias that is that our brains are wired to pay attention to negative things more than the positive things. I think I've mentioned this before in the stream series, that if we're busy smelling the roses and and then there's a saber-toothed tiger, we need to be able to key in on that saber-toothed tiger, otherwise we get eaten while we're smelling those roses. So that is the negativity bias. Our brains are geared towards being a little bit what's the word, not on the fence, but there's a word for this, but protective. I can't think of the word, because then there's the over, whatever it is, overprotective. That's not the word. Which happens when this becomes chronic, and we're always on edge, and we're always focusing on the negativity. And that's what this quotation is getting at. The negativity bias. It's when it becomes more than that. Yes, it's good to be. I'm trying to say that word. It's good to be aware of these things. It's good to be able to notice the potentially harmful things, but don't let it overtake your life. Don't let you still want to be able to see the roses, and when you do, you want to have that chance to smell them. Um, Related to that is the notion of our own limitations, things that we cannot do. We could spend forever making that list. Think about all the other animals. Every animal's got something, can do something that we can't. Whether it's flying or breathing underwater or digging underground or whatever, hibernating, whatever it may be. But I'd rather be a human being than a goldfish. Yes, they can blow. Yes, they can breathe underwater, but like I can do a lot more. And if we focus at that, picture if you were a goldfish, you think you'd be happy, or do you think you'd say, "Oh man, look what I cannot do. I can't breathe up on air. I can't, I can't take all these walks. I can't make all these creations and work with I don't have fingers. I can't play music. Um, I can't sing. I can't all these things." And even if you can't sing, even if you're not musical, you have other talents and even if they're not talents, you have other skills, um, other abilities that you do have. And rather than focusing what sets you apart from other human beings, think about what you have in common with them. Think about all the things that every human being is largely able to do. And if we get into it, you think about the things that some human beings cannot do. With disabilities such as walking. And if you are able to walk, be grateful for that. Think about what you can do. If you cannot walk, think about what else you can do. You can read. Um, Very few people are blind, mute, deaf, dumb. um, Mute and dumb are the same, I think. Blind, mute, deaf, um, have use of no limbs, for instance. It's just like, you can find something that you can do. Um, if you're watching the stream, you're not all of the above. Yes, you might be listening to just the audio. Yes, you might be reading it with, maybe there are subtitles, but you're not blind and deaf if you're enjoying this content. So, you don't have to think that far ahead and be like, well, what if I have absolutely nothing? Because there are things that you can do, and don't let that overshadow things you can do. Think about those things, and when you do, you are able to come up with a lot more. You're able to um, be more creative. You're able to focus on yourself. You're able to say, wow, that's really nice. How can I do more of this? Because everything becomes a vicious cycle. There's a call it a parable, whatever you want to call it. It says that when people come home at the beginning of the Sabbath, if the table is set, and everything is nice, it's so it should happen again. And if the table, says the quote unquote good angel, and if people come home and the table's not set, then quote unquote the bad angel says so it should happen again, right? And it's just the idea that whatever we're doing, it becomes more likely that we're going to do it again. If we I know with myself in grad school, I never got to school for my doctorate. I never got to school anyway aside from my bicycle. And I knew people would say, what if it's raining? What if it's cold? And I'd say, if it's cold once, it'll be cold every day. If it's 14 degrees one day, I'm talking Fahrenheit. Yeah, that's not enjoyable to cycle in. And I can say, okay, 14, ironic, day 14. But, if I make that exception, then am I going to feel any differently on day, if it's 15 degrees or 16 or 20 or 25, right? Or 30, because like if it was too cold when it was 28, then it's too cold when it's 29 and 30 and 31, 32, and so on. And it gets to a point where it's like 70 degrees outside, which actually is uncomfortable for cycling. But then it's already too hot. We find other excuses. But if instead of finding excuses, instead of focusing on what we cannot do and say, oh, this is too hard today, because focus on what we can do and instead say, I know I can do this. I've already set a pattern. This is my lifestyle. This is how I do things. Try to make as few exceptions as you can, because yes, there are times that things become inevitable and you cannot, for instance, go to the gym. Something does happen. Something happens that you have to put extra hours in at work. Fine, I get that. But make that happen as rarely as possible, because the more that you do that, the easier it is to slip into the habit of saying, well, if I didn't go yesterday because of this such and such important thing, well, this is also sort of important, just start making excuses. So get into a good habit, think about what you can do, use that to create a habit in which you can continue to do things because that's what you did yesterday and that's what you have been doing, and focus on your strengths. Okay, I do have some music to play. Forgot about that. How long have I been talking? Oh, 8 minutes. Okay, let's go. I am plugged in. Okay, the nail is still needs to be a little bit longer. Okay, so using the pick, I have the song loaded at 90% speed to the interlude. I want to practice without it, and then try playing without the music, and then try playing along. Okay. One and two, 1 and 3 and 4 and 1. Time. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 3 and 4 and 2. Wrong fret. 1 and 2. That's 1. That's 2. 1 and 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Try that with the music. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Good. Let's try that from the pre-chorus. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 3 4 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 Okay, that part needs practice again. Maybe I probably see one out the music. It's coming in from. Yeah, 13. Cool. Let's try again with the music, the same thing. 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 1 and 3 and 4 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 Okay, good. What now from the beginning? What's the part I need to practice coming in, getting there from there? Okay, I got this. It's not gonna be, I don't have enough time, but let's do as much as I can. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Was I playing that wrong? Yeah, there I was in the past. I was doing it okay though. So it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and... Yeah, in the past I was doing that fine. Okay, let's do it again. I don't have time for this, all of it, but let's do as much as I can. 1 and... Okay, got up to the second verse. Okay. A lot of things were, I made mistakes. That's stuff that just needs to be practiced, and I would get more comfortable with that. Overall, though, I have a good handle of it. It always is necessary to try to put it together because it's like I can learn just whatever parts A through B, no problem, and then C to D, no problem. A through B, and then B to C, and then C to D. But then I'm not practicing B to C again, and then I forget that. Even if I can do A to B and then C to D, fine. B to C is an issue. And then also maybe let's just say I can do A to B and then B to C. I might not be able to do A through C because I might only be able to do B through C when I start at just B. But when I come in from A, it might be a little bit confusing. I might not have that extra second to start. So this is why it's important to play everything all together. Which I was trying to do the last minute and a half or so. I'm just looking at the sheet music now, not looking at any measurement pictures, looking at giving like an overview. And that's the phone ringing in the background. That's not yours. And I'm just looking at like the parts. I have a good grasp of it. Um, there are some parts there which I probably, if I had continued, I probably would have made a few more mistakes. But this is just something correctable with time. Day 14, got 10 days left. This is I'm 1 session behind. So even though this is a Tuesday, it is 10 days left, rather than 9. Let's see as much as I can. Let's see how much I can do. I'm looking forward to that. The piece is still at 90% speed. I don't know if I'm going to be able to bring it up any faster, just given the time restraints in terms of practice. 10 sessions times 5 minutes to 50 minutes. How much time more would it take to bring it up to speed? I don't know. But let's see if I can do this. I'm looking forward to that. Thank everyone who joined. Hope to see you all again tomorrow, same time, actually, no, today was late. Hope to see you all, hopefully, regular time tomorrow, 7:40 a.m. Eastern time. A reminder that there is a link in the description section with a list of songs from which you can make requests. Wishing you all a great day, and as always, until next time and beyond, keep practicing.